guys, what's up? It's Lady Calysta here with another video on familiars. This video is actually going to focus on familiar research. So I have another video which is up, which basically focuses on the buildings, right? So there's 3 types of buildings, just as a quick recap. But there is also additional research that goes with the familiars, and it is a completely new research tree. Okay, so if we go into that research tree, we can see a lot of familiar things, no pun intended, as well as some actual pretty important research, right? So the most important research, I would say, in the first top of the research tree is our anima harvesting. Anima harvesting is really important because everything takes anima if you're doing anything with familiars, right? So as you know, the recommendation that I had was to build 4 springs. Being able to max out your anima research is going to help you with your output in terms of the amount of anima you are producing. Now, the way that I approach this tree, you don't have to do the same thing I did, but I kind of went ahead and figured whether, my question was, is there any familiar in Pact 2A or 2B that I think is pretty cool that I would want to be my first monster that I, start working on? And the answer was yes. It was a pyrite. And so what I did was I went down to the tree and figured out what exactly I needed to be able to unlock Pact 2 as quickly as possible, right? So you're going to notice that the merging cost, right, which is basically like a speed up. It's basically how quickly your pact is made, because they are literally thinking of a pact as like a pact. So a merge is like how quickly the pact is happening. Gym training. This basically increases the experience gained from training, as well as food for harvesting, which was one of those researches you're just like, why is it here? I don't even have a farm on my territory, guys. So this one was painful, but whatever. So these were the things that I had to do, right? I had to get all those to level 3, including the animal harvesting. So I went ahead and did that. And I was able to unlock Pact 2 really quickly, because what I wanted, and again, this is what I recommended or what I did, I didn't want to spend time working on Pact 1 monsters. There wasn't anything there that I thought was interesting enough to warrant me like making it like my first monster. So if you go down, then the next question that I had was, well, what does it take to get to Pact 3? Because that's where it gets good, right? Like you want to get to Pact 4. So with Pact 3, you need Academy level 17. For those of you that are still working on your Academy, you are going to need to start maxing that out eventually if you ever want to get to Pact 4. And then I just started working on the ones like Anima Storage. Another one that was on here was Anima Production. Animal Harvesting 1 needed to be a 5 out of 10, so I went ahead and I finished it. That's why it's at a 5 out of 10 instead of 3 out of 10. It's because I'm working on my Pact 3, and then I'll just keep working on whichever ones, right? So like Anima Storage level 5, I'll figure out like what I need to do that. So I'm working on level 1 right now. I'll probably keep maxing that out until I need to, start maxing out some of the ones on the very top, like the stone harvesting, timber harvesting. A lot of these researches, guys, are gonna feel like not good to do because they're not helping you in any direct way, right? Like if you are hypering timber and you're working on metal harvesting 2, doesn't feel good, right? But it's what's needed to unlock the packs, right? So as I'm working through this, I'm just trying to do like the path of least resistance and figure out like the bare minimum that I have to do, which is why I always kind of work my way from the bottom up. What I wanted to call attention to you guys, a lot of these are really self-explanatory, so I won't spend a ton of time. You're going to see a lot of researches, right? And then there's like some speed ups, right? Which is like your merging. Then if we scroll down, you're going to see gold harvesting. The one that I want to show you guys, Anima Storage 2, which is really good. Under Pact 4, so let's assume we got to Pact 4, right? Yay, us. We're working on our Reaper, and we're gonna start killing some T4 troops. Something to be mindful of, and this is probably like the most important research in here as this game progresses, is going to be your durable wards. So your durable wards, let me go ahead and show you guys what this says and what it looks like. So this is going to be your means of protecting yourself against familiars. So as you're thinking about the Grim Reaper, right, and the fact that he can go through shields, and he is going to go after your highest tier troop. Shields aren't going to help with this, right? So this is where this particular research becomes super important, because those wards are what's going to keep you safe. But here's the catch. So if you go to info and you figure out what is a maxed out ward duration research do for you, it basically makes you immune for 120 minutes. So that's about 2 hours. That's tough. Because if you think about being shielded and going to sleep, and if typically, if you are in a kingdom that is actively warring, typically your enemies reside in a different time zone, right? Just the way the game works. Usually it's like people from somewhere else that are sleeping when you're awake and are awake when you're sleeping. So that's going to be hard because people need to sleep, right? So if you have your shield and you're in a crazy intense kingdom where you know a lot of people are maxing out these monsters, and you pop on your ward duration, you can give yourself a 2-hour nap, people, but you're going to have to wake up and put another one, or figure something out. Be alert, be active, port around, whatever. But you can see that 2 hours is the max that you're going to get by maxing this out. I would foresee this tree maybe getting bigger, right? I think that the ward duration is not long enough, so we might see some movement there, right? It might get bigger. There might be an additional one that comes out, right? So you can get additional time. I don't think this is ever going to be like 20 hours, right? Like it's never going to be like a 24-hour shield, but it might eventually get to be more than just 2 hours, because 2 hours is pretty tough, right? Because that's the max amount of time that you can be away, and people sleep for a lot longer than 2 hours. So that's kind of like the important research. I don't know what it's going to take to get all the way down here. You can see, just like out of curiosity, we can see how much how much food it takes. So it takes about 2.5 million food. I'm always food broke, so this to me is always like, oh god. In terms of the anima, it's going to take about 350k. So it's going to take a bit, right, to get all the way down here. It's going to give you 225,000 might when you unlock that very first durable ward level. But it's going to take a while to get there, right? Like I'm scrolling through here. This is a ton of research to get through, right, to be able to get to that. So it's almost like a race. There's a race to unlock Pact 4 and get your Grim Reaper maxed for some of those berry guilds, and then their opponents and them themselves probably are also trying to get to that durable ward and be able to unlock that, right? Because that will be incredibly beneficial. So hope this is helpful. I will keep you guys up to date. The really good thing about this is for those of you guys that are working on the heroes that require medals from research, right, like Watcher, you have more research to focus on, and most of this research is going to help you unlock and get additional things for like packs, right, like packed levels for the familiar, so it doesn't feel like you're just investing in research that isn't helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, and as usual, thank you for watching.